Bitcoin mining is good for the environment. Cryptocurrencies are bad for the environment, at least, that's what most people online seem to believe. Pro-crypto posts on social media are often flooded with angry comments about the industry's outsized contribution to greenhouse gas emissions. Studies estimate that Bitcoin mining, the process that safeguards the Bitcoin network, uses more power globally per year than most countries, including the Philippines and Venezuela. On the other side, members of the crypto community argue that crypto mining is actually good for the environment in several crucial ways. They say that it offers a new, energy-hungry market that will encourage renewable projects. In the long run, they say, crypto will revolutionize the energy grid and soak up excess energy that would have been otherwise wasted. As lobbyists have volleyed arguments on both sides, a blow was dealt to crypto mining's hopes for rapid expansion in the U.S. on June 30 when New York officials denied the air permits of Greenidge Generation, a Bitcoin mining operation, citing substantial greenhouse gas (GHG) emissions associated with the project. The decision could set a precedent for how local jurisdictions across the country approach a hotly contested topic. To investigate, Time spoke with several energy and environmental experts to break down some of the crypto community's main arguments. While some experts say that there's potential for positive impact from crypto mining, most agree there are few indications that the industry is going in the right direction. There is a narrow path upon which they could be useful to the energy system, but I don't see that happening, says Joshua Rhodes, an energy research associate at the University of Texas at Austin. And right now, he says, damage is already being done. Writ large, they're probably adding to carbon emissions currently. 1. Crypto mining relies on renewable energy. Bitcoin's network relies on groups of computers, all around the world, to run complex math equations. These computing centers act less like miners in the literal sense and more like network watchdogs, used for security and stability. The process, known as proof of work, is energy-intensive by design, in order to prevent hacks and attacks. Crypto advocates argue that the proof of work process is becoming more energy efficient, that more and more miners are turning to renewable energy sources like wind, solar, or hydropower, as opposed to coal or natural gas. However, one peer-reviewed study from earlier this year shows the opposite, that the Bitcoin network's use of renewable energy dropped from an average of 42% in 2020 to 25% in August 2021. Researchers believe that China's crackdown on crypto, where hydropower-driven mining operations used to be plentiful, was the primary catalyst of this decrease. At the moment, the rate at which crypto miners use renewable energy sources is heavily disputed. The Bitcoin Mining Council, an industry group, argues that 60% of mining comes from renewable sources, which is 20 percentage points higher than the number listed by the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance. George Kamia, an energy analyst at the International Energy Agency, says that while the Bitcoin Mining Council likely has access to more data, its numbers come from a self-reported survey that lacks methodological details, and encouraged them to share the underlying data and methodology with outside researchers like Cambridge to increase their credibility. Regardless of which statistic is closer to the truth, there are still many mining operations using non-green energy sources. In New York, Greenidge repurposed a coal power plant that was previously shuttered. It's now powered by natural gas, which is also fossil fuel-based. Yvonne Taylor, vice president of Seneca Lake Guardian, an environmental nonprofit, told Time in April that Greenidge would emit over 1 million tons of CO2 equivalents into the atmosphere every year, in addition to harmful particulate matter. A representative for Greenidge wrote in an email to Time that the company has offered to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 40% from its currently permitted levels by 2025, and that it plans to be a zero-carbon emitting power generation facility by 2035. The company also plans to appeal the denial of its air permits and remain operational. 2. Crypto mining will lead to a renewable energy boom. If crypto mining isn't sustaining itself on renewables right now, might it in the future? Fred Thiel, the CEO of the crypto mining company Marathon Digital Holdings, has announced his intention to make the company fully carbon neutral by the end of this year, and says that companies like his could have a huge impact on the future of the renewable energy industry. It's worth noting that many cryptocurrencies already use much less energy-intensive processes than Bitcoin's proof of work. Smaller blockchains like Solana and Avalanche use a security mechanism called proof of stake, which Ethereum Foundation researchers claim reduces energy usage by more than 99% compared to Bitcoin's system. Ethereum, the second largest blockchain behind Bitcoin, is in the process of switching from proof of work to proof of stake this year. It doesn't seem like Bitcoin will transition away from proof of work anytime soon. But renewable energy developers need customers in order to grow, and proof of work miners provide exactly that, Thiel argues. As an example, Thiel suggested that there are wind farms in Vermont that have no ability to sell their energy because of their remote locations and the lack of transmission lines. Putting a crypto mining plant on top of the farms would theoretically give them immediate revenue. If the goal of this country is to convert to green or sustainable energy forms for the majority of our energy use by 2050, the only way it's going to happen is if the power generators have an incentive to build the power plants, Thiel says. But Thiel declined to give the name of the Vermont wind farms, and a follow-up email to a Marathon representative asking for the name of that operation or any similar ones received no response. Most experts' time spoke with dispute the idea that there has been any sort of boom in renewables due to crypto. I am not aware of any specific examples where a major crypto mining project directly, and additionally, boosted renewable energy production, Kamiya wrote. The proof is in the pudding and I have not seen that play out in the state of Montana, says Missoula County Commissioner Dave Strohmeyer, whose county hosted energy-intensive mining operations that rankled local communities, leading the local government to restrict miners' ability to set up new operations. Joshua Rhodes says that counties in Texas were chock full of renewable projects getting built and turning on, even before the Bitcoin mining rush. He also argues that even if crypto did spur a renewables boom, it might not even help the right places. While wind and solar energy is plentiful in West Texas, for example, it requires extensive infrastructure and transmission lines to run that power back east to the cities that desperately need it, like Houston and Dallas. All of the cheap electricity can't get out, he says. And even if it were true that crypto mining is creating rapidly accelerating demand for solar and wind farms, which, again, doesn't seem to yet be the case, there's the problem of where to put them. Many communities or organizations have opposed them on various grounds ranging from aesthetic to conservational. In New York, Assemblymember Anna Kells, who spearheaded a bill to impose a moratorium on crypto mining in the state, says that a crypto-driven influx of solar and wind operations would be directly competing with farmland in New York State at a time when it's becoming more and more the breadbasket of the country because of climate change. 3. Crypto miners improve electricity grids. If crypto companies aren't yet supercharging a renewables boom, then maybe they're helping other ways, like making our electricity grids more resilient. Thiel argues that crypto miners are uniquely suited to help grids for several reasons. That they can be turned off quickly during peak hours of energy usage in a way that, say, pasteurization machines can't. That they can soak up energy from the grid that would be otherwise wasted. That they can be located very close to sources of energy. We voluntarily curtail whenever the grid needs the energy, Thiel says. It acts as this ideal buffer for the grid. During peak stretches of Texas's energy usage, Thiel says, Marathon has lowered or completely shut off their usage of the grid for 2 to 3 hours a day. Like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel.